Well, hello and welcome to another... What are these? Hang on. Come on, there it is. Hey, hello and welcome. I've got to get myself one of them there Stream Deck things. Hello and welcome to another live streaming version of the podcast. Stephen Allen, Almost Daily, Tuesday edition. I'm Stephen Allen. Hello. Already requests are in for some side cam. More than people deserved. Look at that. Straight in with a wink and a click sound. By the end of the show, we might do one of the old double pointies. We'll see. If you want to see what's happening, by the way, if you're listening to the audio version of this, you missed the chance to chat, because the chat's happening in the chat section. That's where chat happens, where it's all kicking off. I really have absolutely no idea what's going on there. Loads of people saying some stuff. I've not been able to catch up with it already, so well done. Oh yeah, new ticket. Proper Memes notice I've changed the font down the bottom. There were some egregious typos, as pointed out by Joodles. I've corrected them. I've corrected some of them. Let's not promise more than I can deliver. There you go, new font. So we're up and running. If you'd like to take part in the chat, you do have to go to the YouTube channel.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen and do some stuff. More on that later, actually, by the way. Joodle says, oof, a tongue click too. I know. More like a beckoning of a horse is what that's all I can really do. It's more up in the flabby part of the cheek than the tongue, if I'm brutally honest. But that's not what we're here for, is it? I should point out as well, I've got this prepared because I was going through the drawers. As you look at the side cam, I've not found a covering for the drawers yet. But if you listen to the audio-only version of this podcast, because there are more shows, they're the edited-down highlights of the All Hits Radio thing that I do. In between all the news stories, there's a little harmonica riff. It's one note. It's a bent note. I can bend notes on the drawer. It's, I'm not like great at the harmonica. In fact, I'm very bad at the harmonica, but I can bend notes. And I thought, well, you don't get that on the live version. Why not just do it live? So you never know. Got the skills. By the way, I was look at, if again, audio only version, you're not going to get this, but look at the spectrometer down the bottom when you hit a note. Look at the harmonics. Ooh. More on that later. We start off with a look at the front pages. For that, we have a new jingle. Thanks, Proper Memes.
Here are today's front pages.
Yep. We're doing exactly what it says on the tin over there. We start with the front pages with the Times. Reeves hints at lifting 2 child benefit cap. I've got 2 kids, so I don't care. BBC is told, say sorry or Trump will sue for $1 billion. Wow, it's quite a lot. And this is because of the Panorama editing some stuff to make him look worse than he was, and they've apologised for it. Tim Davies gone. We mentioned this certainly in the podcast the other day about now that Tim Davies gone, I'm presuming the MASH report comes back. So screw you guys. Live stream, I'm out of here. TV wants, what's that? They're not making it again? I'm back. Thanks for supporting me. Go to kofi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. But I think they should say sorry. I don't think they should pay any of our money. Thank you. Don't settle. Don't do any out-of-court settlement. No, because there's no way to win $1 billion for this. And I'll tell you why. Proper Memes already. I like this, yeah. Trump watched Dr. Evil's ransom demand. Yeah, $1 billion. He's not going to get $1 billion for it because there is no way it had that much of a detrimental impact. It was Panorama went out before the American election, and spoiler alert, and please look away from the screen now if you don't want to know the result, he won. So it's not caused him $1 billion worth of damages, so they wouldn't get. It's our license fee money, whether you like paying it or not. Don't just give it to other people. Make some flipping TV shows. This is why I didn't like Gary Lineker. I tweet whatever you want. I can ignore people's tweets. I don't get all precious like, oh, you're earning money from the license fee, therefore I demand all of your tweets suit my needs. No, but don't pay that much money to one person when you could make tons of shows from it. Do you know what I mean? So there we go. Emsicle's got a good point. You have to have a good reputation in the first place. True. Reputational damage is hard to prove. So there's that front page. I think the rest are all just the same, to be honest. $1 billion, that's the star going for it. Future of BBC licence fee in jeopardy as Trump threatens £1 billion legal action. Tim Davie already turned up because Tim Davies resigned over this. BBC board member with Tory link led the charge over claims of bias, says The Guardian. Tim Davies already turned up. In fact, I got some clips from the news earlier. And he was turning up, and obviously the press were waiting there. Why wouldn't they be? Most of them work inside that building. Literally, it's not that much of a field reporting job, is it, to go outside the revolving doors and wait there? And then Tim turned up, and this happened.
Morning, everyone. Good morning. Just want to say a couple of things. I'm here to lead and support the BBC. I'm very, very proud of our journalists in this building. They're doing work, I think, that's incredibly important. I want to thank every one of them.
He's right. Incredibly important work of editing things to make Donald Trump look worse. If they weren't doing it, who would be? Anyone. It's very easy. The social media are probably full of it. And you can AI it these days. But it's incredibly important work. But I did like the bit where he said this.
I'm here to lead and support them.
For like, what, a couple more days? How long's your notice period? How much support does it feel like when the guy who said he's supporting you is like, I'm here to support you, but bye, I'm out of town. Thank you for bye, over here. If you want more on my thoughts on this is what I'm doing today, actually. I'm on Talk Radio at 1:40, where I'm some sort of... I've worked for the BBC and I got opinions, so I'll be turning up there. Let's have a look. Some of the comments. Focus that camera. You're not wrong. They're outside the BBC. They work for probably the BBC. And if you watch the clip again, I'll show you. They focus the camera on the loading bay.
Morning, everyone. Good morning.
See in the background? Look, the loading bay sign gets more coverage than Tim Davey. And that's the way it should be. It's weird, isn't it? You cancel a TV show I'm on and I don't like you. Judel says, I've overcooked the boiled eggs. Disaster. Okay. Should we file that under other news? Possibly. Charlotte says, busting out the harmonica. We're being spoilt today. No singing, just the harmonica. Upside down. Tim Davey was a Tino, a Tory in name only, says Proper Memes. I've been thinking about merch. I really want a Stephen Allen Almost Daily hoodie. Anyone else? Interesting. Because there's a story that I'm talking about on today's All Hit radio show, which I was going to boast that the fact today's radio show does not include the same material as this stream, but, bring it up. No, actually, I'll leave it. I cover the concept of merch in today's radio show. I'm out of here with my executive pension package and golden handshake. Oh, no. Golden handshake seems like it should be something to do with going toilet. But it's not. It would. No, I can't think of any words I can broadcast. But you know what I mean? If the shower is that one and the happy, you know what I'm saying. I'm not sure how you'd do it. I just think that someone's probably done it. And just one Kermit. Wait, hang on. You were having fish cakes 12 hours ago. Kermit, it's nice to see you back. You're very much in the other news category talking about Judel's food. Judel's noodles, I believe it was. More on that story later. So let's get into the main meat of the dish.
Let's get inside the news.
Meat of the dish. I'm hungry now. We're talking about noodles and meat, and doesn't take much to get me hungry around this time of day. Let's get the camera on it, and we can start with. I'll try and rattle through loads of news stories today. Should we do that? I can't even remember what we do on the show, but we're 8 minutes in, and all I've done is talked about one story and played the harmonica. So, NHS staff flags fear. They actually did flag the fear, and they have a fear of flags. It works on almost a level. England flags on lampposts scared NHS workers in the summer, hospital bosses have said. These are people who see mangled up bodies being brought in, who stick their hand deep in, and their biggest fear is a flag. Some 29% of the staff are non-white and 1 in 5 are non-Brits. One trust chief said it felt like flags were creating no-go zones. No, definitely go. They're just flags. I think if that's your perception of a flag, we need to find a way to change that perception, not change flags. If you're afraid of a flag, there's nothing to be fearful of. As I said at the time, we need the I'm Spartacus attitude. If everyone flies a flag, then you wouldn't be able to imply any sort of motivation, any nefarious motivation. Get more flags up there. Get more flags up there, he says, in a studio that literally is all blue and none of the other colours. I should apologise for the fact this shirt looks terrible with this backdrop. I will change it before I'm on Talk TV. I do apologise. There's interesting. House of 2 million lights for Christmas. A couple switched on 2 million Christmas lights covering their house and aimed to draw thousands of visitors. It's not often you can make me think we need to get Greta on this. But can we start sending Greta around to people doing this with that many lights? 2 million Christmas lights. I'm sure they're LEDs, they're efficient, but I'll tell you what's more efficient, or I'll tell you what uses less power than 2 million LED lights. No LED lights. Or 3, but not million. Calm it down. You're the attention-grabbing gits of your neighbourhood, aren't you? There's a few around here that I drive past. bit much, isn't it? A bit much. Rein it in. Also, I mean, on some ways, I suppose, with the cost of electricity and the duty that's on electricity these days, those people will be helping to fill the deficit. So actually, maybe more people, idiots like this, attention-grabbing people could do that, and then we don't have to up the income tax. More on that story later, I imagine. Here we go. Yeah, good point. As an introvert, thousands of people makes... Yes, exactly. Oh, people coming around to look at your house. I don't like it. If I'm in the house and I see someone vaguely looking towards the front window, I'm shutting blinds left, right, and centre. Yeah, isn't it? Proper Meme says, Cuddly Live, a teddy bear named... Cuddly Live, a teddy bear named Steve. What do you think, that as in merch, you want a teddy bear in the shape of Steve that you can cuddle? Proper Memes, I had no idea. Steady bears. Steve... Maybe, I hated it when I first said it, and now I'm starting to like it already. That's impressive. Do you have a teddy bear named Steve? That's exactly the correct question to ask. Well, they literally can't sack them, says Kermit, so just promote them instead. I'll make one in Build-A-Bear. Build-A-Steve. That's the franchise we need to get out there. Build-A-Steve. Get yourself a little voodoo doll. Ed Miliband reported the £2 million Xmas lights as a non-crime hate incident. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Learner passes theory on try number 75. A learner driver passed their theory test. Oh, my day. On the 75th attempt, spending an estimated £1,725. And to that, I refer you to my previous thoughts on this issue. We need an upper limit of how many times you can take a test, because I think 10. And even then, I'm like, or the balance of odds. I think if you failed your test 11 times, you're going to have to pass it 12 times before we let you on the road. And I was thinking the practical for that. But if we don't need to worry here, do we? Because if this person took 75 attempts to pass their theory, surely they never, it doesn't say they passed the practical, does it? The theory test is notoriously tricky, with darts champion Luke Little... Sorry. What's the measure of how difficult a test is in terms of academic rigor? How difficult is this theoretical test? Well, a darts player struggled with it, so... I feel I'm on the precipice of being harsh, but I don't think I'd be being wrong. Neighbourhood watch at my house when people walk past. Oh, yeah, don't like it, Charlotte. I have a sense of déjà vu about this driving test. Yep, fair enough, says Proper Memes. Charlotte says, I know we all have been a learner driver, but how annoying is it being stuck behind one? They should learn elsewhere, shouldn't they? They should. And they all said, we've all been a driver one day. Yeah, we're not still one. Do you know what I mean? There's got to be some benefit bestowed upon you from passing your test and then being able to criticise people. There are no practical tests available for 2 years, says Kermit, so the theory will have run out by then. Good. Keep this person off the road. Harsh but essentially fair, says Emsicles. I think that should be the subtitle of the show. If you want to know how difficult a test is, do you measure it by the yardstick of how easy a darts player found it? Throw no shade. He casts a bit, actually. He throws more shade than I do. Littler is now an IQ measurement. Says Joodles. Yep. Right. Back into the stories. Absolute tons to get through today. Oh, yeah. Let's try and go big screen on this one. The second hokey illegal, a second hokey migrant, has made his way back to Britain after being removed to France under the controversial one in, one out deal. That's the problem, isn't it? It's one in, one out, one back in again, one back out again. And at some point, we will get someone who's been returned, come back, gets returned, and then comes back again. And at that point, can we just call the whole thing off? Because it is silly. My favourite joke I ever did on this was when we were talking about it. I can't remember the name of... Was it Barry? It wasn't Barry Gardner, was it? On GB News. And someone said, well, it is just a pilot scheme. And I, thankfully, was awake enough to retort, it's because they've sent more pilots back to France than migrants. And I'm still high-fiving myself about that one. Kermit says, was it Maureen from driving school? Should never have been allowed on the roads. Do you know what I mean? If you're that bad a driver, it actually stops being funny at some stage, isn't it? Oh, can't pass the driving test. We're an absolute nightmare out there. Anyway, get behind a ton of metal and off you crack. 30 miles an hour. Good luck. No. Proper Memes, are you asking a naughty question? No, don't. This is a good story. Telly bosses had to apologise for a translation blunder, branding Wales rugby hooker a prostitute. Now, before we get all upset about this, do we know that he's not? I know what's gone wrong there. I imagine it's the word hooker, isn't it? But, but before you apologise, before you go give him money, it's Virgin Media apparently, before you go paying up some what's it called? Damages, that's it. Can we just check? Because you could really save yourself a lot of legal hassle if it turns out on the side he actually he does a bit of that. Does get down on a scrum, on a These sports people often have an OnlyFans, don't they? Not that I've checked. Not that I've checked burly rugby men's ones, anyway, if I'm brutally honest. I don't know what to make of this story because I don't think I care, but the skull and crossbones and pleading face emojis fell out of favour this year. Good. Keith Broney says crying laughter faces and fire are here to stay. Well, thank God for that. He also said the TNT emoji is more popular than ever. I think Keith also sits alone in a chair at night crying to himself that this is what he's done with his life. The other trends predicted for the next year include the red heart and tired eyes. Why? It's some sort of medical condition? It's not anemia if it's a red heart, but the tired eyes could be, couldn't it? Keith, editor-in-chief of Emojipedia. Again, you've got to regret that name. You made yourself sound like a wrong'un. You made yourself sound like you're using the kind of thing kids use in text messages, and for that reason, you should be on a register. I don't know what's happened today. I'm in one. I'm in an absolute mood. So, look, proper memes, the skull and the skull and crossbones. Yeah. Translation tastic, says Joodles. Yeah. Do you really need a word for both? I think this is why we never had a problem with the word hooker, is that you know which one you're talking about. A quick look at who you're talking about and you know which one it is. So maybe they don't need to worry about that one. Joodle says, turns out I didn't want to know the answer. Yeah, you're right. There's a whole survey they bothered there. Keith, and how did they find him? You're right, no one needs to know. You don't want to know what I use the skull emoji for, or the eggplant one. The eggplant one, as a fan of aubergine, I've sent many a text message saying what I'd like for dinner that night, and surprisingly did not get the food I wanted. Couldn't sit down for a week, but I didn't get the food I wanted. Didn't think that was the direction I was going to take that one in. Proper Mean says brony means My Little Pony Bro. That makes a lot of sense. That's the wrong thing. Edam French. Baby Bell price 17% higher in UK. Doesn't make a lot of... Let's see what we're going on here. Cheese lovers are paying 17% more for Baby Bells here than in France, despite the snack being smaller. Shrinkflation and more for the Baby Bell price. Quick question. Who's going to France and eating Baby Bell? You're going to go to France. You're going to go over there. Oh, yeah, I want to try some of the local cheeses. Oh, like what? Baby Bell? A nation known for its fancy cheeses. You're having Baby Bell. That's like going to Amsterdam and having the pleasure with yourself. Not the word I would have used, but the word we have to use on the stream. Brits are getting worse deal despite the bright red wax-covered balls. Well, that's the real reason to go to Amsterdam, isn't it? It's taking a turn as well. This show's going downhill, isn't it? Did not expect this. Charlotte, pony in one comment and eggplant in another. What is this comment section turning into? I often ask that. After we get to the end of the show, I look back and think, I think I'm leading you astray. Or maybe it's your fault. I'd like to think it's your fault. Proper Meme says Brits are cheesed off. And Charlotte doesn't like cheese. Is that strange? If you were French, it would be. I think legally you have to. Amster Edam, says Kermit. Thank you. Wrong one. Oh, got to get my hands on this. Big hikes risking 25,000 jobs. This is the story that maybe when we get to the budget, and I'm sure we'll end up doing a show that's mainly budget news, but tax hikes on gambling machines could shut 3,400 bookies and cost 25,000 jobs, industry insiders have claimed. Well, they would, wouldn't they? Also, if anyone's edging the bets, it's just the one hike that I don't seem to mind. And now I don't gamble, so I don't give two flips. And that's probably what it is. But it's one of those where, like, if you close down some bookies, I know I'm phrasing this badly, but if we lose these jobs, you don't want to lose jobs. It's great that the economy has more people working. And we've got some bad stats came out today, didn't they? Or yesterday, whenever it was. But if the jobs we lose, the people waking up every morning, cleaning their teeth, going to work, and helping people get addicted to gambling, do something else. It might be better. And I know I'm saying this because I would rather tax bookies than me. No, that's absolutely fine, isn't it? I think I'm on the money there. Judel says, I'm chuckling away to myself. That's not what I meant in Amsterdam, but almost. Reeves is making a big gamble on the economy when she should be betting on growth. Yeah, I don't think the growth we need is more bookies, though. That's the thing. You look down the high street, and the problem I have with bookies is they're the shop that doesn't do anything or produce anything. You don't get to leave there. Some people leave there with more money, but more people don't. Otherwise, the shop wouldn't exist. Do you know what I mean? The simple maths of it. The house has to win more than the house loses. So actually, in aggregate, is people turn up and just give money to their shop and walk away with nothing. Every other shop on the high street, you walk out with something, whether it's coffee in your belly or vapes. But I don't know. She's rolling the dice. He's doing the puns. She's rolling the dice, all within the budget. Right. If you think you didn't care about the emoji story, strap in. Luna is top dog again. Luna has been crowned the UK's most popular girl dog name. Say the word. Go on, say it. Girl dog name for the 5th year in a row. Now, normally we get those stories that come out once a year. There's the most popular baby names. And I think that's a waste of human endeavour. But most popular dog name. Okay. Brits are looking to the star. I mean, mouse is in the way. Stars, yeah. Stars for guidance when naming. Well, they're not technically. If you're looking at the stars, you've overshot. The moon's a lot nearer. There's a kid's book, which I was reading to my young lad, and it says some stupid character flies past millions of stars to get to the moon. Like, well, he went the wrong way around, didn't he? Because I am a nightmare. Popular astrological names include Tarot, Twinkle, I suppose, and 1 in 5 choose having a dog called Twinkle. You know exactly what kind of dog this is. Little yappy piece of thing. 1 in 5 choose their dog name, I imagine, based on their star sign. Well, their name. Do you mean you choose the dog? I suppose, yeah. Obviously, you want to have you want a Virgo dog or something. There's no way everyone is naming their dogs after star signs, because we still have a star sign called Cancer, and it's unfortunate. Look at that oil seed that you get in the fields. That's an unfortunate word as well, isn't it? How is it we have managed to rebrand opal fruits? That was perfectly fine. Mars bars, absolutely no problem. And yet, that astrological sign of Cancer, we're just saying it. That oil seed, just saying it out loud. Yeah? No fancy rebranding it? Exactly, Toodles. No one wants to be stood in a park shouting, "Here, Cancer." No Emsicles, no charge per mile to get to the moon, apparently. Exactly. What kind of an idiot goes via the stars to the moon? Martin, who has moon as a star sign. Idiots do. It's also who's into star signs. And I would never call a dog after Sagittarius. Yeah. Saggy hairy ass, as my dad used to call that one. Preempted it. Yep, they're all there. Right, here we are. This is too big for this, but I love this story. Orlando's Katie Fry. I don't really get this, is a stupid headline. But there's Orlando Bloom and his new partner. I'll read the story if you'd like. Orlando isn't scared, I see why they said that, of having a pop at his ex-fiancée Katy Perry, the Lord of the Rings star, a while ago, isn't it? Bringing that one up. It's like me going on about the MASH report. Was at the Halloween bash in a skeleton outfit with a pal who was dressed as the singer. I think that is deeply problematic. You need to move on. Is it fun or is it you need to move on? Do you not feel sorry for this new girlfriend? Where should we go? We're going to this party. What should we go as? Oh, I've got an idea, says Orlando. Yeah, sure. Why? What do you want me to dress as? Dress as my ex. Oh, for one night, he would get away with calling her the wrong name and it not being like disaster. But still. So she dressed as dressed as when she was an astronaut. She wasn't really an astronaut, was she? But I will say, if you want to call your dog Katy Perry, because that was also someone who's in space, Orlando would probably not mind. If you really want to troll your ex, and your ex is Katy Perry, go dressed as her new boyfriend. What you got to do is get the boot polish. Actually, no, now I think about it, I can see how that comes back to bite you. Yep. What have we got here? The Sagittaria, says Martin, new breed of dog. And Martin's get some Joodles, love. Nice. Oh, for the love of... I've moved the keyboard a bit. It's because the harmonica's in the way. Binge drinking in your youth leads to better pay and jobs later in life. A boffin records, an absolutely sauced up boffin reckons. Professor Willie Pedersen, I bet he would, says going on boozy sessions in your young adult years is a trait of more sociable folk who are then more likely to get on in life. In his new book, Buy This and Have an Excuse to Be an Absolute Lush. Oh, sorry, The Beauty and the Pain of Drugs. Yeah, well, fair enough. Hang on. Charlotte said, just nearly spat out my tea. On which one? What was there? Did I catch you out with that? It was that or have nobody to go with. Because he was dressed as a skeleton. Go dressed as Russell Brand. Yep. Not quite sure how you'd pull that one off, but there we go. Right. Nearly at the half an hour mark, so we'll try and rattle through these. Prince William has described a tense standoff he's having with his son George over whether the lad can get his own smartphone. Have you tried saying no to him? I would recommend saying no, because you're the one person George can't pull any rank on. For everyone else, I'll be king one day, you know. And it's a threat, isn't it? Like, I'll be king. When I'm king. The one person he can't threaten is William. Because when I'm king, I'll get you. And William could say, yeah, when you're king, I'll be dead. How'd you like... Oh, yeah. Maybe you don't win that argument. Right. Yeah, it does seem a bit harsh, doesn't it? Oh, for the love of God. I'm going to have to deprogram that one. Plea for 80-mile-an-hour motorways. This is a great story. Drivers are in a hurry to see motorway speed limit hiked to 80 miles an hour. Yes. Could we please have this, please? Just over 2 in 5 reckon that 70 miles an hour maximum is too slow. Yes, it was set ages ago. Our cars are safer and able to go faster. Just go a little bit faster, please. 80 miles an hour does seem like an actual thing. And it's slightly less fuel efficient, which means you'd buy more petrol, which means the government would get more duty from fuel. So maybe we can just tax betters and fast drivers, and I don't have to pay in any... Can we do this? I don't want to pay any more tax. Proper Meme says, can the IGO do 80 miles an hour? It can, actually, off a cliff, but it can... It can? Barely, says Jude. Oi! As we know, the Toyota IGO, the Toyota Sharkwagen, to give it its full name, it's a beast. It might only have a 1-litre engine, but it goes like it's got a 1-litre engine. My little Fiesta always wants to go faster. I bet it does. Everyone does 80 anyway. Exactly, Joodles. It's just permission to go at 90. Oh, I see. Mission creep. No, I think if you raise the speed limit, I would go near to 80. I wouldn't do 90 because the Sharkwagen would be shaking so much. I wouldn't need that trip to Amsterdam afterwards, would I? Let's have a look at this one. Getting it down to a T. More than 9 in 10 of us drink tea, at least 1 cup of tea a day. Okay. In other news, how about this one? Parsnip and beef. A scaffolder dressed as a parsnip broke a fellow hockey player's jaw after a simmering beef. That story has made me hungry. That's all I've got on that one. Just simmering beef as well. And a couple of veg. We're nearly done. 2 stories left. Let's try and see what we can do. Fiesta is a code word. Is it? That's not a nap in the afternoon. That's a siesta, isn't it? And Hi-Ho Kermit says, I tend to settle around 100 miles per hour wherever possible. Oh, do you? Terminal velocity. You put your wings out. The Igo is named after a Yorkshire test driver yelling it to go. Ah, go. Tea news. That's all we covered on the tea news. It's not news if 9 in 10 of us drink tea. Almost every. The shock. How is the story not one weirdo out of 10 doesn't drink tea? What's wrong with those? I don't trust them, and we should probably send them back. I think that's where that story would have gone. Meat and a couple of veg. Joodle's taking this story down a different direction. Casserole with the punches, says Martin, and taxis and SUVs sat in the fast lane at 70. Beep me right off. It's the cruise control people, isn't it, who think, you know what, if I just sit in this lane, just do this speed, I don't have to pay attention to driving, and then you can't get past the flipping thing. Do that in the middle. Martin says brakes have improved, no end since the 70s limit was increased. This is not a serious show, but we can get onto this. So I was talking to someone who said the speed limit of 70 was kept around 70 because tyres haven't improved that much. So brakes are a lot better and stopping distances are better. But if a tyre pops, then you've still got the same problem. If the tyre just, when you get one of those, I've had a couple of those. If that happens at 70, you barely notice it. But he was saying if it goes faster than that, you can lose control. But actually, I think the speed limit was set before power steering. I once had a tyre blowout on the A303 because I know how to live. And it was a boom, and then pulled into the side, called the AA. And I was like, look at that. My cat-like reflexes and muscular forearms kept control of the vehicle. So odd. And when the guy turned up to change it, because I was not doing that, and he said, with power steering, I'm amazed you even noticed it. And it really deflated what I thought was a hero moment for me. But there we go. Alan on cars. There's a segment. You're right. Alan's Motors. I should talk about these things, should I? That and sport I know nothing about. Joodle says more than 90% of crashes are because of over or under-inflated tyres. No. Yes? No. Over. Does anyone overinflate their tyres? There are 2 more lanes for the... Yes. Exactly. Right. Into the final one. Black Friday shoppers are gearing themselves up to splurge an average of £240 on themselves. I'm calling it now. We're going to get the same nonsense that happens into Black Friday. 5 years ago, maybe there was 1 year when what happened was it was a bit busy in the shops. And since then, the build-up is always, it's going to be busy for Black Friday. It's not. Mostly, we get that footage of like one person walking into a shop going, I didn't realise anything was happening today. What's all these, Because we don't care, because this is an American thing, and it's good to not care. The idea that we're splurging on ourselves, 240 quid. That's like a week shop these days, but good. And I would recommend it. My birthday's in January, Christmas is in Christmas. And what I like to do when we get around November time, so now, I go online, I go into shops, and I try and buy anything I want just to make me a nightmare to buy for. Oh, what do you want for Christmas? Oh, I don't know. I guess you're going to have to spend some time thinking about thoughtful gifts because I've got everything I want. Payback time for the other time of the year. Proper Meme says Stephen Allen's Money Corner. I'd have one of them if you want a Ko-fi. Drive N. Allen, says Martin. You're coming up with ideas that I don't think I could follow through on, but thank you for this. Love it when Steve does the odd bod voice. Oh, that sort of one. When I used to work on, for anyone who watches here from my BBC Kent days, I used to do sketches where it was me and the producer was, I used to talk to myself, just doing different voices. No wonder I'm not right. Do you know what I mean? October, Black Friday, December. Is that how it works? Aliens news. Martin wants me to do more aliens. I will work. That's true. I used to. And Larry was sketches with me talking to myself in different voices. I've done it a lot. Let's have a look. Surely no one wants the nerdy voice. What you want is the I'm not a salmon voice. I'm not a salmon. It's up to you, isn't it? Kent here. Martin, of course. So Martin, yeah, you'd be aware of my trying to talk to the producer. In fact, there was a Christmas song that I did with me singing with a producer voice. Those were the days. And the Dolly Parton voice. That's always a treat. I didn't try and do a voice. I did superimpose my face onto her face and thusly technically had her bosoms. If that's what I want to do with my spare time when I'm not in Amsterdam, that's up to me, isn't it? So I think we've covered all the news stories apart from this one. Folk regularly taking painkillers for headaches risk suffering more of them. Say, hey, this is according to the University of Bristol, the School of, it's only a school, the School of Neuroscience, saying that using them for longer than 3 months can trigger headaches. Damn, it's exactly the opposite thing than what we wanted. But to be fair, I think when you get to your late 40s, you got to have a bit of something. The ibuprofen's the only reason I can do something in the day. Do you know what I mean? If I get headaches for it, I'm going to get headaches anyway. So we've covered all the news that you could possibly want. A few things left to do, actually. I tried to set this up today, so what we can do. Proper memes, sent one. Oh, I need to get, there we go. Look, I can load in your tweets. Here's a story for you. This is Floridians watch out for falling iguanas. It's 48 degrees because it's cold. Apparently, iguanas fall out of trees. When it drops below 45 degrees, the iguanas fall out of trees. They're immobilized but not dead. Not when they start falling. Depends where they land and whom drives over them. So if you are watching this from Florida, watch out for falling iguanas. Got hiccups. I was in Hackney once on firework night and one went off and it killed, I shouldn't laugh. Don't call Peter on me. They've complained to Ofcom about me when I used to work on GWR. But I saw a firework kill a squirrel. Not by hitting it. Imagine the odds. Just the loud bang, and then there was a rustling in the trees, and then big grey squirrel. They are big. And I didn't see what happened, but I imagine it's the shock, isn't it? So up there, I imagine the squirrel was like eating acorns, and then and down he goes. And he was big. He was meaty. He's the kind of thing that makes me think RFK's not wrong about roadkill. I had a little look, and I was like, it's the only affordable food in the Hackney area, so... We didn't. Also, someone else did send a message as well. I said I'd be live streaming at 12, and Cam said, at 12, I'm live streaming your mum, mate. Ha ha ha. Beep, ledge. Well, she died in the pandemic, so it's nice that someone's still thinking of her. So that's nice. Thank you very much for those ones. I also have an email to read out. Only a bit of it, don't worry. I'm not going to read out the whole thing. Just because it makes a good point. It's from Wayne, who says... I'm not showing it because there's other details on there. But hi, Steve. Just a quick email, shout out to Wayne, to let you know that you have another regular viewer, but as I don't have a YouTube account, I can't comment. Started watching in September, back when we used to do this on Twitch. So it's I don't know what to do about this. Should I start like multi-streaming? I'm throwing this out to the wisdom of the group here. Just on YouTube means we can comment on in the comment section. If I multi-stream, would I still miss all the comments there, or do we have to have loads loaded up all over the flipping shop? I don't know. So anyway, your thoughts welcome. We've known this for years, says Joodles. It even says it on the Sudafed packets. And, well, I didn't write that news. You're right. A lot of this news, I think the survey that found that most people drink tea is the worst of all of them today. But there we go. Sounds like my fall out of bed. What, you just go... It's not dead, it's resting. Beautiful plumage, that iguana. I can't even say that, says Martin. And it's gone multimedia. Yeah, we're going multimedia. The Twitch days. What should I do? Because I was thinking of having one stream that just goes to X, because I could do that as well. Should we do this? Can't you comment on Twitch too? You can, but then we wouldn't see it on screen. But I can bring up... that page over there. So anyway, more on that later. Got to do this before we go. Good one today as well. Press this button enough, so let's flip and do it.
Here are the plugs where you can see Steve and Helen all this week.
Some stuff to plug. Nearly had you the wrong piece of paper. Plug it. Today, Tuesday, 1:40, I'll be on Talk Radio talking about the future of the BBC. Today also, the Swindon Advertiser comes out. If you are in that area, I've got a newspaper column in there about Christmas adverts. Wednesday, 11 p.m, GB News doing the newspaper review. Maybe I'll be on through into the morning as well. On Thursday, just before 11 o'clock, like the dentist. That's more of a note for me. 12 p.m, almost daily live stream. Actually, it does mean if I'm late at the dentist, then maybe the live stream will be late. Shall I not do one or should I do it late? Up to you. Let me know your votes. The dentist, it's nothing serious. It's just a checkup. It reminds me of the old joke of the woman who goes for a holiday in Europe that comes back and tells a friend, I'm pregnant. And a friend says, have you had a checkup? And she says, no, I went to Spain. Friday, I'll be performing stand-up comedy in Milton Keynes. Saturday, in the morning, I'm doing a newspaper review with a political spin on GB News. Also performing in Hailsham in the evening. And that's it. You're up to date with where I'll be doing stuff. Music's finished. Nice. Charlotte says, sudden thumping. Is this when you get out of bed? Oh, sudden thumping headache. Too many plugs, I think. I do apologise. And can you make it 1 p.m. on Thursday? Good point. Maybe I might. Yeah, it's only a checkup. Only having a checkup. You'd have multiple chat logs to read, says Joodles. That is the problem, isn't it? And you'll have to pay for premium Streamlabs. I ain't doing that. I'm an OBS. Can you multi-stream manually on OBS? Yes, you can. Either, I used to do it in the old days when I was doing shows with Eric during the lockdown, used to use like a restream service, but you can send separate streams out from OBS. You just have, the easiest way is to have one scene and you can send that scene to a stream. It's the same thing you can use to separately record. Yeah. So we're up to date. You won't be numb and foaming at the mouth then? Well, no more than usual, says Martin. Thank you very much for all of your comments. Thank you for listening to me make our way through the news. Proper Meme says Milton Keynes to London, 8 miles an hour overnight. I reckon. I don't live in London though, but I reckon, yeah. I think you're right. We can get away with that. Martin just sent? Oh, Proper Memes has sent a story. Is that the one from earlier? Is my phone just? Stay there, please hold. I do have the ability to check this stuff. Again, you see, this is the thing, isn't it? No, that's the one from earlier. For some reason, I've only just got the message on my watch. So maybe technology is not that great. Thank you very much for all of it. Martin says, bring back Steve and Eric. If he's free, I said we should do actually like a special, a one-off. Me and Eric doing the old comic solving the problems. I'll be up for it, clearly. I got the stream. So to play us out today, me. Anything that stops him singing, even a numbed mouth is fine by me, says Charlotte. Thank you very much, and until next time, goodbye.